Hey guys, Josh here. Hopefully you guys are gonna be able to see what I'm doing here. I got my GoPro on my head, so hopefully you can see everything I lay out here on the table. But I want to take this time to talk to you guys to try and put this whole gun violence thing, the assault weapon thing, into perspective. Because this, with the shooting that happened at the school and whatever else they're gonna want to blame on the back of the movie theater in Denver. The the pundits, the news people, the politicians, everything are wanting to run and wanting to jump on the bandwagon or everything to try and take away rights of people that don't commit crimes. And for all you guys wondering, if you're just turning on this video and wondering what's going to be on, I'm going to tell you right now. The moral of the story is it's not the gun's fault. The guns are fine when they're, for when people use them for protection or sporting or everything. It's not, you can't put all the blame on the gun for people's bad actions. So if you guys are very anti-gun people who don't, who can't ever be swayed and who won't even hear the other side, won't listen to any sort of facts or anything, go ahead and turn the video off right now because you're not going to learn anything and you're still going to be set in your opinion and you're going to be oblivious to reality. Now, it is no secret, if you guys have been around my channel any sort of time at all or anything, you know that I am very pro-gun. I am a gun owner. I like to compete in IDPA matches. I'm competing as loosely. I've done a couple of them. I'm not anywhere near as good as a lot of the actual competitors and stuff, but I partake in IDPA matches. I enjoy going shooting. I shoot at paper. I shoot at cardboard. That's all my guns have been aimed at. So I want to show you guys a couple of things. First, this here is a Smith & Wesson M&P 357 Compact. This gun is the gun that I carry on me virtually all the time, anywhere I go, anywhere, for my own protection, to protect me, to protect those around me, to protect my loved ones, my friends, my family, and any other innocents that may be around me if the time were to arise where I could use this to benefit myself and everyone around me. I've carried this around thousands of people. Not a single one has known it. None of them have been scared. Why? Because this is for my protection. I use it for my protection, and I use it smartly. Okay? So there's that. Now here, this is a DTI AR-15. This is the bad gun in the eyes of the media, the eyes of the politician at the moment. And why? Oh, I don't know. Because it's black. Because it does this. God forbid. They want to give this gun the nomenclature of assault rifle. And to that I say, why? It's just a rifle. It's not assaulting anything. Why would you give it the term assault rifle? And the assault rifle ban that was passed back in '94, it went by sort of things like this. Well, if this is a fixed stock, oh, that's not an assault rifle. But this right here, because I can adjust the stock to, adjustability for a person, people of different height, shorter arms, longer arms, to shoot comfortably, that makes this an assault rifle. The fact that I can put on a rail to have accessories like a light or a foregrip makes it an assault rifle. The fact that this gun can hold a higher capacity magazine, one of these, this is a 30 round magazine. It is high capacity because, why? Well, because it can hold more rounds than an arbitrarily, randomly picked number of 10 that politicians have decided on means, oh, if it's 10 or below, then it's not a high capacity. But anything above that's high capacity, so that's bad. So there's a magazine for that. I got several more to go with that. But this is what's getting all the blame, because this is what a couple of crazy people have been using to go shoot unarmed civilians in movie theaters in a gun-free zone, or go shoot unarmed children, 6 to 8 year old children in a school. They use one of these, and therefore this makes it bad that a person would have such evil tendencies and thoughts and desires to where they would go kill their mother to take this. They would kill their own mother to get this, to go shoot innocent children. But that's this fault. This is the reason why that crazy person decided to go shoot some other people. So I'm going to lay that right here. And this to the anti-gun people, to the politicians, all that stuff, this is what is bad. This right here. And to that I say, why? And there's a few reasons for that. And the main, first and foremost reason, the reason that everything are problems everywhere, is because we have a media in this country that sensationalizes everything. And they don't sensationalize it for something being good and like make it sound extra better. No, if someone does something bad to anybody else on the planet, in this country or whatever, they want to take it and blow it out of proportion. Why? Because that gives them ratings, and the more ratings they have, that means the more ad revenue that they come back. They don't report news anymore to report news. They don't report just the facts. What they do is they take something and they run with it and they sensationalize it as much as they can to try and sway public opinion, to try and get people talking, because people don't want to think on their own. They just go, they turn on the news, they'll listen to some talking head, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, that guy knows everything I'm talking about. No. Those people have those jobs, not because they want to get you the facts anymore. They have those jobs because they can talk smoothly and try and convince you to their opinion, to the opinion of the news organization that has hired them, that has employed them. And there's no such thing as the facts and just the facts anymore. It is either have a news organization that is very far left and a news organization that is very far right. But in all honesty, most of the news organizations, they're very far left. They are very ultra-liberal, and they want to make you think that anytime anybody uses anything that is not agreed to by that or whatever, it is bad, which that's not right. That's the main problem with all this, is that we have a media that will jump on it and ram down throats. We have a media that will go to homes and to funerals of children that were murdered by a crazy person. There is a media that will show up. They won't respect the people grieving's family of their child that was just murdered. They don't care about that. They will go show up at that person's house and try and agitate them. Try and get a story out of these people. Why? Because they want the ratings. They don't care about the people as human beings. They don't care about any of that. They are all in it for ratings, and that is the problem. The media blows everything out of proportion. Now, is a guy going and shooting up a school and killing, 26 or so teachers and children bad? Absolutely. That is one of the most heinous things I could ever think that anyone would want to do that. That is utterly terrible. But the fact of the matter is, too, that the media wants to play off of that for their own agendas, for their own pocketbooks, if you would. And that is one of the gigantic main problems that we have here. And now I want to actually say, okay, well, anytime the media reports on a mass shooting, why is it a mass shooting? Why is it not just a shooting? Look at where the mass shootings always happen. In a movie theater, to where you are, the people that go to watch the movies are not allowed to arm themselves in there. And it's a packed house, so it's essentially a shooting gallery for someone to come in who doesn't want to follow the laws and just mow down innocent people. It happens at a school where you are not allowed to carry firearms in any way, form, or fashion. The people there are unable to defend themselves. So what does it do? It just lets someone walk in who doesn't want to follow the laws, who is a criminal, who is a crazy person, allows them to carry in and mow down a bunch of people unopposed. Then you look at a guy who goes to a rally of a politician in Arizona, where being around politicians all stuff, you're not allowed to carry. You're not allowed to do any of that sort of stuff. And what does he do? He goes and shoots up a bunch of people because he's kind of unopposed. And that's why the mass shootings are mass shootings and not just a shooting. Why? Because they happen in gun-free zones. And let's face it, mass shooting sure gets a whole lot more ratings than just shooting does to the news media. And that is another problem that we have, is that we have all these gun-free zones to where a criminal knows that, well, you know what? All those law-abiding citizens in there are going to be unarmed. They're not going to be able to oppose me. I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to wreak hell, wreak havoc, and I'm going to get my jollies off, and I'm going to be able to do that for a while before I have to worry about a police response time. And police response time that averages a couple minutes. I don't have an exact figure for you. I'm sorry. So, it's not instant. Police do not get to respond instantly. So, someone can kill hundreds of people before the police officers will even show up. So it's like, well, the police will protect you and all that stuff. No, it's blatantly obvious that will never happen unless everyone has their own armed security guard with them at all times. That is an unfeasible thing to even talk about. So all this bad stuff happens in areas that the law-abiding citizens are not allowed to protect themselves. That's the problem. So now, why is it, I'm thinking, that we have people that, want to actually do these sort of things? Why do I want to go kill somebody? Why do I want to go kill somebody to actually attain one of these so I can go kill some more people? And maybe that's a sign of the fact that we don't have any mental health institutions hardly in this country anymore to try and help people who may be mentally unstable that shouldn't go out into public, that shouldn't be around these types of things. Why don't we blame it on that? Or maybe we can blame it on the fact that there are people out there who just want to do this, and they want to do this. Why? Because they know that there is absolutely no punishment for them. And I know you guys are saying, like, what? How's that possible? No, there's no punishment for them. Think about it. We have a justice system that's set up to that you are innocent until proven guilty, which, yes, that's a good justice system for, other certain things like shoplifting, mistaken identity, or something like this. But then we also have this same justice system is set up so the fact that a guy that walks into a movie theater, shoots how many people, there are how many witnesses in there, they catch the guy red-handed, and that guy is still innocent until proven guilty. How more guilty is it than being caught red-handed, weapons in hand, after you just mowed down how many people with how many witnesses? How can there be anything more guilty? Why is that guy still sitting in a court system? And he'll more than likely still sit in the court system for another 2 or 3 years before he is actually deemed to be guilty. Why is that? We know for a fact, there's no shadow of a doubt that this guy did it. Who cares what his motivation is? Who cares if he's certifiably insane? It doesn't matter. The man had enough wherewithal about him to obtain weapons and go on a mass murder spree, and yet he is still sitting in the court system, and he will more than likely get off on an insanity plea. And what does that mean? You go to prison for the rest of your life. And what's prison for the rest of your life means? That means you get a place to sleep, you get a place to use the bathroom, you get 3 meals a day, you get yard time. That's what prison is in this country. It's not like hard labor where you go break rocks or you go do any other sort of stuff. No, it's you get to live off of the taxpayer's dime under the roof, and it's just like you just have roommates. And that is another problem as to why people want to do this, because they know that there's no punishment. If like, say, that guy that shot up the movie theater, if that day you can say, okay, we're going to take you through the court system. That trial should be the fact of, okay, come in here, your name, these are the charges levied against you, how do you plead? Plain and simple. Guilty, not guilty? And the judge will go, oh well, you're guilty. Instantly, public execution. Maybe if that happened, would people want to think twice before they would actually do this? Because then they would actually see that, oh wait, there is actually a penalty. There is actually a punishment for me going and doing these sort of things. But, will that help it? Maybe, maybe not. Because there's just evil out there. People are just evil. And whether or not they know what's going to happen to them or not, they still may go and do it. So, but I think it will certainly help the situation if people can actually see that, yes, there is a reason, there is a penalty There is swift and just punishment for when you do heinous acts of violence to other people. And then we also, talking about justice still, there's states like California, which is a no-kill state. So if you want to go and murder 1,000 people in California, well, guess what? You're not getting executed. You're just going to stay in prison for the rest of your life. Thanks for killing all those people. Here's 3 meals a day, a bed for you to sleep on, some shower, and some yard time. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So now maybe, okay, whatever. Well, maybe it's like not that. Maybe it's none of those reasons at all. Maybe here's a reason for it. Maybe these kids that are growing up and doing this stuff, maybe they just can't be disciplined as kids anymore, because now we live in a society where it is bad to discipline your child. Your child can go out in public, raise hell, throw smashing plates around, throw stuff wherever in a restaurant, and what are you only supposed to do as a parent now? Oh, no, you shouldn't do that. That's not right. That's bad for you to do that. You shouldn't act like that in public. Parents are not allowed to discipline their kids anymore. Would that change it? I really don't know. But when you live in a society where you can't discipline your kids think they can do anything and get away with it. So they don't know what is right from wrong. They don't know that there is a punishment for bad actions that they choose to make. Would that help? I don't know, but it's an idea. So it's sad. It's really sad that the public opinion is being swayed this way to where everybody is allowed to be able to get away with everything. So now maybe it's not the kid's fault. Maybe there are people out there who, I mean, it's not maybe. There are people out there who are legitimately mentally ill, and that's fine. Those people should have the care that they need all the time. They should be able to go to mental institutions all the time, but they don't. What happens? Well, they go sit down to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist says, "Oh, okay, whatever. I'm going to recommend you this. Here, take this antipsychotic drug and go back out into the public. Take this antipsychotic drug. It will fix you. It'll make you normal. It'll make you like everybody else, and go out there and live a productive life." No drugs can fix crazy in people. It just cannot happen. That is a ridiculous thing. And you know why that all these drugs and stuff are being prescribed? Why is it that when a kid now is just being a kid in school, kids don't always sit there and cry. They're all, every kid's rambunctious out there. And yet, what does it do? Well, the kid goes to the doctor gives them Ritalin from the age of 3, 4, whatever, puts them on a drug to get them to calm down. Not puts them on a drug to stop a kid from being a kid. So maybe we're breeding a society of overly medicated, overly just drugged up people, and that is slowly taking away at their mental health. Who knows? That is also another theory. But the reason why all these drugs are being pushed along, why? Because, well, a lot of these doctors, if you don't know this, a lot of them get kickbacks from the pharmacy company. They say, hey, you prescribe so many people, subscribe X people this amount of our drug, we'll give you a little extra scratch, So you have doctors out there that, in order to make more money for themselves, because the world runs on money, they prescribe drugs that aren't needed, that aren't warranted, that don't do anything, that just cloud the better judgment of other people. They prescribe them just so they can make a little more money. Are all doctors like that? No. There are still good doctors out there, but are there some? Maybe a lot? Absolutely. So that's another reason why this is happening. It's just there's too many drugs. There's too many trying to find easy fixes and not addressing the actual problem. If someone is going out in public and has like just angry, deranged, I want to kill people thoughts, or they're just sort of mentally ill, you cannot give them a drug and expect that to fix it. It is impossible. A person needs more help than that ever. It's terrible. Now I kind of went through all this stuff. I want to show you guys a couple of other things. So bear with me here as I do this. So here we have Axe. Have here an alarm clock, fertilizer, box cutter, car keys, brick, a knife, and a hammer. I'm sure you guys are like, well, what is all this craziness you're showing me? Well, everything you see here now at this point in time is an example of items that were used by a person, by people, throughout time, throughout whatever, by people that were intent on hurting others. Every one of these is an example of something that was used to kill other people. Every one of these. Now, I want you guys to look at this, and I want you to answer this question. In the hands of a bad person, and I just want to go out and kill as many people as I can. Of the stuff sitting right here, what is the most effective? Are you thinking it's these? Well, in all honesty, no. If we want to go by a single act of evil, a single act of terror, this box cutter is the most effective on American soil to killing innocent people. And what am I talking about with this? Well, if you're oblivious to everything that's been going on, I'm talking about September 11th, 2001. I don't know how many guys it was, 6 or 9 guys or whatever, got on 4 different planes with box cutters, and they used these box cutters to take over the plane to then fly them into buildings. And in less than an hour, in about 47 minutes, these guys, using just box cutters, managed to kill 2,753 people. With these, they used these to do evil, to kill people. And then, in addition to that, from the war that was ensued from these, and you can say, well, no, that was just a scapegoat to go attack Afghanistan. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what caused the war. The people using these gave enough reason for the U.S. to declare war over there, and another 2,108 people died in the ensuing war for the next 10 years. Because some guys with these decide they want to get on a plane to commit evil. They didn't get on a plane with this. They didn't get on a plane with this. They got on a plane with box cutters. They used the box cutters to kill people on the plane and take the planes over to murder more people. This right here is the most deadly and single time use in America. Period. And by these guys using this, people from 115 nations, or from around the world, 115 different nations, in a world that there's only 210 nations, 115 had members of their country die as a result of these being used. Think about that. Now, what's the second most deadly thing here? Is it these? No. Sorry, wrong again. It's this. It's fertilizer. And you're probably going to say, what? Well, you guys ever heard the Oklahoma City bombing? Timothy McVeigh decided he wanted to build a bomb out of fertilizer. In a fraction of a second, Timothy McVeigh was able to kill 167 people. Like that. Because he made a bomb out of fertilizer. He didn't go around shooting people with any of these. He made a bomb out of fertilizer. 88% of the people in the building, the Oklahoma City building that he killed up, 88% of them died, or were injured, 88% of the people in that building were injured. 45% of the people died because he made a bomb out of that. And now, speaking of bombs, I'm sure you're going to be like, why is there an alarm clock here? Well, obviously this isn't the right kind, but alarm clocks were used by the guys who decided that they want to bomb the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. They made bombs. They wrapped the bombs in nails and shrapnel and stuff to try and rip apart, to maim as many people as they could. Why? Because they were an evil person. used by evil, used by evil, used by evil, has the potential to be used by evil. Everything does. Everything on this table here does. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, well, what the hammer? Well, last week, a guy decided that, another crazy person, he wrote like a big rambling note or whatever, but in the note he put down, I did this because I like to kill people. I like to kill people. That's what he wrote. So what did he do? He killed his sister, set her house on fire, set a couple other houses on fire, and then waited for the fire department to show up, and then shot a couple of the firefighters. Killed 2 of them, I think injured 3 or 4 more. I'm not exactly sure the number. Now, I'm sure you guys, if you guys have heard about this story, all you saw was like the title of the story or whatever, the headline, there you go, that's one thing of, is guy shoots firefighters, or something of that ilk. Crazy band shoots firefighters, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure what you didn't hear is that back in the 80s, that same guy took a hammer and beat his own grandmother to death with the hammer. Beat her to death. Did he go to jail forever? No. Why? Because our justice system let him take a plea deal. They let him plead guilty to manslaughter, so he got out 13 years later. And what happens when he gets out? He kills his own sister, he steals her gun, he sets the house on fire, sets a couple of the other houses on fire, and then shoots police or firefighters who just are showing up to do their job. That guy had already murdered somebody, but he was allowed to get back out into public and do it again. Why was that guy not executed after he did that? Why was he allowed to take a plea deal when he killed his own grandmother in cold blood? Why is that allowed to happen? Why is our justice system set up like that to happen? And why is it that our media is set up to sensationalize that guy just went and shot firefighters instead of putting in the headline that man who killed grandma in the 80s was released from jail and then killed more people? Why was that not the headline? Why is it the headline be man sets house on fire, kills police or firefighters? Why would that be the headline? Why? Because this is sensationalized. This here gets people to think that, oh, well, these are bad or whatever. It gets the sheep that believe whatever they hear to believe that this is it, and not the person who originally killed with a hammer was capable of killing again with any of these instruments here. He just used this later. He started with this, ended it with this. Why is that able to happen? It is mind-boggling to me. And the funny thing here is with this now, with all this trying to push the legislation through, especially Dianne Feinstein. And if you guys don't know about Dianne Feinstein, she's a representative for California. She's been a representative since the 80s. First of all, why is she still in office? She needs to be gone. But also this lady who forced through the first assault rifle ban, who always talks about how bad guns are, had, I'm sure she still has it, had a concealed carry weapons permit for California, which is about the hardest state to get it in. So why is it someone that thinks that if we get rid of these, all the bad will go away? Why do you have a concealed carry permit, lady? And why are you still in office and trying to push forth your agenda to try and disarm the other people? Why is that? Why is it that in your state that you represent, which is, you can't hardly get a gun at all, it's the hardest place, you have some of the highest death rates to gun violence in the entire state, in the entire country? Why do you have cities like Oakland? Why do you have cities like Compton? Why do you have those cities to where all this can happen? Why? If people can't get these, why are people dying by guns? If people in Chicago who have it set up that, oh, you got a gun, you can't even take it out of your house, it can't be on your porch, can't be in your basement, it has to be in your house. Why is it that Chicago is one of the bloodiest cities due to gun violence there is out there? Why is it that people think that if we take these away, people won't commit crimes? That criminals, who by definition are people that do not follow the laws that are set forth by society, criminals, murderers, use these. Why is it that we think that if we tell them, hey, you can't use them, which we already tell them you can't use these guns to kill people, they still do it? Why is it that? Why is it that areas that have the highest restrictions on guns are also the most violent, who have the least amount of people with guns, who have the most gun-free zones, are also the most violent states? Why is that? Why is that? And then the people who think, well, if we just get rid of all these guns, then no one will die from gun crimes. No, if we get rid of all these, then people can't get guns. And to that I say, drugs. And this isn't about whether drugs should or should not be illegal. The fact of the matter is that all drugs, are nationally illegal in this country. Sure, you got a couple little state go-arounds, California. Drugs are illegal. Look at how many people get their hands on drugs. If you got rid of guns, the bad people, are still going to get their hands on them. Trying to take these away doesn't mean anything. And the fact of the matter is that you can say, well, no one can have these anymore, right? So you take this away from me. Why? Because I'm a law-abiding citizen who follows the law to a T, owning everything. I've gone through my classes. I've got my concealed carry. I've gone through proficiency tests. I've taken classes. I practice a lot. Why is it, if you were to take it from me, would all of a sudden that all the violence of the bad people that don't care about this, they don't care about the laws, why is that going to stop it? The laws mean nothing to people that don't care about laws. Laws only mean anything to people that actually care about the law. Law-abiding citizens don't commit the crimes. Why? Because they are law-abiding. Only criminals commit the crimes. Criminals will get their hands on these. Will get their hands on these. Will do anything they have to commit their crimes, to murder other people they want to murder. Some people are just evil. Plain and simple. That is what it comes down to. And I'm sure you guys are thinking, well, you're jumping on, anti-gun people are wanting to jump on the bandwagon and all that stuff. Say, yeah, no, we need to get rid of these. And why is that? Well, why is it the politicians that are wanting to get rid of these now? Why is it the politicians don't want to try to push and get rid of these when nothing happens? And here's the thing. The politicians use tragedy to push forth their own agendas. Why would the politicians want to get rid of these? Well, our Second Amendment was created to protect the American people from tyranny. How do you protect yourself from tyranny? You are armed. How did we become a nation and protect ourselves from tyranny? Our citizens were armed and said they had enough. So what the politicians want to do, they like to take this tragedy of children getting killed by a crazy person. They want to take that tragedy and they want to tear at the heartstrings of the people that aren't aware of what they do. They want to use this to make sure that they take these away from the people so that we can't protect ourselves from the tyranny of our own government. And why do they want to do that? That is because they love their cushy job. They love their own, the fact that they get all their own personalized health care. The fact that they get to stay a politician for life and get paid 6 figures a year to do nothing. To do absolutely nothing other than to take stuff away. Long gone are the days to when a politician actually cared about what the people that voted them into office think. Long gone are those days. They don't care about that anymore. All they care about is making sure that they can stay in office as long as they want and get away with doing whatever they want. And if they take these away from us, that keeps us from being able to fight back. And I'm not saying that we're going to take these and go to Washington and just shoot all politicians. That is a ludicrous thing. Don't even try and say that. I know there are some of you out there that if you stuck there this long are going to be saying, well, you just want this so you can go shoot. No. I'm not going to shoot anybody innocent. I'm not going to do that at all. But the fact that we are able to own these lets them know that if the time comes, then, hey, you know what? These people are going to take it back from us because they've just had enough. And that is why the politicians want to put this through. They don't care about safety. They don't care about any of that. That has nothing to do with the situation. All they care about is be able to protect themselves from us, even though when they're supposed to be representing us by being in office. That's why they want to get rid of this. They don't care about that. They don't care about anything about safety, none of that. They want to protect themselves so they can keep their tyranny going. It comes down to that. And then, I want to talk about the Second Amendment. I've actually heard someone say before, well, you know what, the Second Amendment was written when they didn't have these types of weapons, when they wouldn't have written it this time of day or whatever. The Second Amendment was not written at all with any sort of stipulations. To say that they couldn't see into the future, that things progress everything in form and fashion, is ridiculous. To think that they would say, okay, the Second Amendment, you have the right to protect yourself from tyranny only if you use flintlock muskets. If you have anything more than that, well, you can't use it. No. There are no stipulations put on that. And that was written by the most forward-thinking people that our country had. There is a guy who's one of the main dudes that wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, a guy kind of by the name of Benjamin Franklin. I don't know if you've heard of him. One of the most forward-thinking guys ever. The guy who actually realized that, hey, this stuff coming out of the clouds may not be magic. It may actually be, I don't know, something special. It's called electricity. That guy was smart enough to see into the future that it's something that can be harnessed. And guess what? He's the only guy on our U.S. currency that is not a president. Do you think someone that had that sort of foresight would have said, well, you know what? The Second Amendment only accounts to, people using this. No. The Second Amendment has no limitations. The Second Amendment protects us from the government. And it allows me to protect myself from the evildoers out there that see fit to do me harm. The people that want to kill, the people that want to rob, the people that want to rape. This gives me a way to defend myself. Because you know what? I'm not walking around with a damn axe to defend myself. Because why? Well, the bad dudes, they kill somebody or they illegally obtain these. So why is it that I shouldn't be able to have these to even the odds? Why is it that I should be the one that is, neutered in a situation like this? That's crap, man. That is not this. So now also, I know I'm going on for a while here, but I just keep thinking stuff here. The anti-gun people always like to talk in the terms of what if. The hell's that word? I had it in my head earlier. Hypotheticals. They always like to talk into the terms of hypotheticals. So let me, instead of giving you the fact numbers that I already gave you of these things, let me say, what if that guy that went and shot up all the kids in the school, what if he just took his car and waited till all the kids were out of school and drove over them? What then? Would we be having an outcry that all cars need to be banned? No. Would the government come out and say, we need to limit the types of cars that people can have and, you can only have a car that can only go 30 miles an hour stuff? No. Why is that? Again, it's because the politicians want to play on your emotions to get their own agendas through. And that's the thing here. Look, you can be anti-gun, you can be pro-gun. Obviously, I'm very pro-gun. If you are anti-gun, that is fine. I respect that. That is, if you don't want to have to deal with guns in your life, whatever, you don't have to own them. You don't have to partake in them. That is fine. I totally respect that. I would like to suggest, though, that you actually take the time to learn what things are. Learn that this is just a semi-automatic rifle. There's nothing assaulting anything about it. Maybe actually take the time to go take a class so you are comfortable around firearms, so you know that they aren't dangerous things. Should they be respected? Absolutely. But so should everything on this table be respected. These aren't bad. Everything you see here is an inanimate object. The entire time I've been talking to you, not any of this get up and kill anybody. This did not get up and go assault anyone. This didn't stab anybody. This didn't drive over anybody. This did not kill somebody's grandma to go to prison to get back out and kill more people. These are all inanimate objects. It is only when they're in the hands of a person that is crazy, a person that is set on doing evil and to hurting others, are they dangerous. And those people don't give a shit about the laws that are set forth. They don't care. They just want to be evil. So getting rid of these does nothing to solve the problems. It just makes it harder for me to defend myself, my loved ones, people around me. Period. And if you want to be anti-gun still, that is fine. That is okay. But I just ask you that you return the same courtesy. If I want to be pro-gun, if I want to own this and just have it for my own enjoyment, then let me. Don't tell me that my views are wrong. Don't tell me that my views kill people. Okay? Because none of this stuff here, this didn't, none of this did anything bad this entire time I've been talking to you. So I hope I kind of open your guys' eyes up a little bit to the situation and put everything in perspective that all this is just stuff. So, alright guys, thanks for watching.